welcome into Man vs. Machine, where we have arguably one of the smartest minds in the sports betting industry, Ed Feng, a Rice graduate and a PhD from Stanford, up against myself, just a mere mortal human being with an SEC degree. So let's get right into it. We got a couple matchups we will agree on, one that we disagree on. But Ed, welcome in. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's always a pleasure to be on with Kurt Herbstreit 2.0.
Yeah, in my dreams.
That's my new name for you, buddy.
But, he has a pretty good gig. Hey, I have a good gig down here in Costa Rica. I'm enjoying it. You're up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. How's it going up there? And what did you think of the week one matchups? And how are you going to use that information to maybe week two, week three beating the markets, Ed?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was an amazing week of football. I thought Michigan looked really impressive in that win over Florida down in Dallas. Definitely going to be kind of thinking about that moving forward. An incredible game Sunday night, Texas A&M at UCLA, and we will definitely get into that in one of the games that we're talking about this week. And then I kind of had a hot take this offseason of Tennessee being the team on the rise in the SEC East. And that game, even though they won, did not really bear out that hot take. So I'm interested in where Tennessee is going. Their defense just was terrible against Georgia Tech. So that was another interesting game that I thought, and I'll be looking at all those games going forward.
Yeah, no, just on that game real quick, I saw you on Twitter, the standalone Monday night game. You were mentioning how Georgia Tech's quarterback looked really good too. Did you change your numbers on Georgia Tech even though they lost?
My numbers were pretty high on Georgia Tech. I don't think I really needed to change them. I had them in the teens, which was a lot higher than polls, a lot higher than some of the other numbers. So I think the numbers had a healthy respect, and I'm going to leave them where they're at.
Okay. Let's get into the games, man. 153, 154, Hawaii, plus 23.5 versus UCLA. You can get that extra hook at Heritage, Bookmaker, and Intertops. The rest of the market right now, we're talking Wednesday afternoon, is mostly at 23. So I think we're both going to be on the side of the big underdog, the Rainbow Warriors here. So look for Heritage, Bookmaker, and Intertops to get that extra hook, the 23.5. But Ed, how are you feeling on this one? What's making you look towards the Hawaii side?
Yeah, this is a big numbers call for me. My numbers have UCLA as a winner, a 15-point winner, but that's pretty significantly less than where the markets are at this point. And I think beyond the numbers, just looking at what happened in the game against Texas A&M, the defense got gashed. UCLA's defense really struggled in that game against Texas A&M, which is why they were down, I think, 38-10. And Hawaii brings a lot of pieces back on offense. They got a running back, St. Juste, that is a pretty powerful runner. I think Hawaii's going to be able to stick in that game. I think UCLA is going to have problems covering unless Rosen has a phenomenal game again, like he did against Texas A&M. What are you thinking about that game?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm on the dog here. I bet it at the opener at Bet Online. I really have Hawaii as a bet on. Their quarterback, Drew Brown, kind of a dual threat kid. I think that he actually has good accuracy as well. Also bringing in the point of UCLA, short rest. You know, they played on Sunday, not Saturday, like Hawaii did. And it's kind of a letdown spot. You know, it doesn't get much better as far as the game atmosphere, how they won against Texas A&M, the comeback and all that. Also, it's relatively, you know, in relative terms, it's a short trip for Hawaii. They usually fly from Hawaii to LAX, then off to whatever their destination is. This time it's just that one flight, so it's kind of a short trip for Hawaii. All of those reasons make me look towards the dogs. So yeah, I'm on 23.5. Did you already bet it, Ed?
I have not yet, but I will. To support your point, I had Hawaii as the 64th ranked offense. That's adjusted yards per play last season, and that was with Drew Brown not playing in a lot of those games. I don't think he played it much in the first 4 games, and St. Juste was hurt a little bit. So, you know, a group of 5 team that can play a little bit of offense, and I think they're going to give UCLA some trouble.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so that's one we agree on. We agree on one more, and we also disagree. Not sure what you're thinking with your numbers on this one, but we got Texas, San Jose State. Looks like Texas is laying 26. And the total, which is where we're having disagreement, is sitting at 63 pretty much across the board. So I'm going to be on the over 63. Sounds like Ed's on the under of 63. I'll let you go first, Ed. What's making you look at this under?
Oh, you're gonna hang me out there to dry to rip me apart here?
Hey, you want me to go first?
Number,
I'll go for it, and then you can rip me apart.
No,
Either way, man.
you.
What do you want?
I got you, man. 63 seems like a big number. A couple reasons. Whenever you have these big spread games, and I think Texas is in a class way ahead of San Jose State. I expect them to win by a lot. The game tends to slow down. You tend to see a lot more running in the second half. That's not as efficient as passing in terms of scoring. I can definitely see like a 48 to 10-ish kind of game where you're not getting a lot of points in the fourth quarter that you would otherwise get if the game were at the full tempo. Second, San Jose State brings back a lot of their secondary. I think that's going to be a benefit to them. Number slightly we're definitely on the under. And Texas had the 34th ranked defense from last year. They bring back a lot of pieces. I know they fell apart against Maryland. It's one game. We don't know how good Maryland is. Maryland made a huge jump last year. Maybe they make another huge jump this year. We just don't know yet. So for those reasons, I'm looking at the under.
Yeah, but when you bring up 43 ranked defense, I mean, didn't they give up 50 points against Maryland?
Yeah, but some of those were special teams and other situations. I mean, the more concerning thing was the 7 or 8 yards a play that they allowed. So you also have to remember, Maryland is in a different class than San Jose State. I think Maryland's a program that's on a rise. San Jose is probably on the bottom of the group of 5 schools. I just think it's going to be a different situation in this game.
Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, they're definitely on, I guess, different levels. But as far as scheme-wise, San Jose State's offensive coordinator, Andrew Sauter, he's actually the youngest offensive coordinator in the nation. He's only 28 years old. He's a Dino Babers kind of disciple from that coaching tree. So we're going to see tempo. Texas defense struggled against Maryland. Their offensive coordinator, Walt Bell, we know him from Arkansas State and the Sun Belt, always using tempo. So I think that kind of scheme-wise, Texas is still going to be up against it. I'm not saying San Jose State's going to be putting up, 30-plus points, but I think they can get to the 20 mark. And then Todd Herman on the other side, offensive genius coming over from Ohio State. I think that their offense actually performed fairly well against Maryland. And if they're putting up over 40 points against Maryland, what are they going to be doing against San Jose State? So I think that they can get most of the way there by themselves. But, hey, I'll let you have the last word here, man.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask. I mean, San Jose State lost Kenny Potter from last year. What are you thinking about their quarterback situation?
It's a question mark. Absolutely. I liked Kenny Potter, bet on him a couple times. I know sometimes he would kind of throw it away for San Jose State. But their new quarterback play, I think it looked about average. I'm going more on the tempo. And, if you run enough plays and you try enough deep balls over the top, you're going to hit a couple of them. So that's kind of my rationale. But again, I'm just the guy, Ed. You're the machine. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I do want to say, my numbers did not love the under, but they suggested the under. And I did see some reasons to support that take.
Okay. Well, hey, that's the disagreement. If you like the machine, the arguably smartest guy in the country in the sports betting industry, take the under. If you like just the guy method, I'm on the over. But let's move on. 307,
not just the
308.
guy, just not the guy, Drew.
Yeah, whatever, man. 307, 308. Buffalo Army. Buffalo plus 16.5. Pretty much across the board. How you feeling about this one, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the dog here for a couple reasons. The numbers the numbers make Army about a 12-point favorite in this game. So I like that aspect of it. And then you also have another issue with pace here. Army plays really slow. Even if they're up in this game, a touchdown in the second half, they just don't get a lot of possessions. And that just makes it harder to cover 16, 17 points. So those are the big reasons that I'm looking at to take Buffalo side.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And plus, Buffalo looked pretty good week one. I know they lost, but going up against the Big Ten foe, Tyree Jackson, their quarterback, looked good. He's a big dude, dual threat guy, can make plays happen. The D played solid last week against Minnesota. And keep in mind, Buffalo played Army tough. They actually won and played very well against this option attack just a year ago. So I could see them replicating that this year, holding Army in check. And keep in mind, we get that 16.5 in our pocket. So they just got to keep it close and we can win our bet. But any closing thoughts on this one, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the defense definitely played well last week. Buffalo's defense was not particularly good last year. They're about 113th in my numbers, which is yards per play adjusted for schedule. But they do bring everybody back. And you can imagine a situation where that's a side of the ball that gets a lot better for Buffalo.
Yeah, they do. But what about maybe just kind of poking holes in looking at the other side? Do we even know that Minnesota's that good this year? So how do we put that into perspective into this game?
I mean, you don't. I mean, you just deal with that uncertainty at this point in the season. I was just trying to relax a little bit last night, and I turned on the PJ Flex series on ESPN last night, which was very interesting. He's a very fascinating guy. I think he's authentic in terms of his enthusiasm. I don't know if that translates into winning football games yet, but we don't know. It was one game. The offense obviously wasn't that good. They should score more than 17 points against the MAC opponent in Buffalo. But yeah, we just don't know about Minnesota yet. They actually go to Oregon State, and I think they're a dog, which is a very interesting line for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to lay points with Oregon State. So, no, we got a lot going on here for week 2. We got Hawaii we're agreeing on plus 23.5. That's game number 153 to keep it close versus UCLA. Also, we're agreeing on Buffalo plus 16.5 versus Army, putting points into our pocket, 2 big dogs. And then the disagreement, Ed, man, I'm not sure what you're thinking on these under of 63. I'm telling you, Texas is an over team going against Tempo and San Jose State, man. Not sure about that one, but I'm on the over 63. Ed's on the under. Anything else in closing, Ed?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible weekend in college football. You have 4 ginormous games, Georgia at Notre Dame, Stanford at USC, Clemson at Auburn, and Oklahoma at Ohio State. And, of course, the scheduling gods all put those games at 7:30, 8:30 Eastern PM. But I think it's going to be an incredible weekend of college football, not just thinking about your bets, but also thinking about the national championship picture, the playoff picture. We're gonna learn a lot about some teams this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, man? And I mean, I'm kind of interested in that Clemson-Auburn one. Obviously, it's a tough ask for Auburn. They had a couple guys go down, too, last week. Jared Stidham looked good. Granted, he was making plays with his feet against Georgia Southern's defense. Going into Clemson against that defense is a lot taller task. So I'm staying away from that one betting-wise. Are you looking to bet on that one?
No, because I kind of want to take Auburn, but my numbers got Clemson, and those are situations that make me feel uncomfortable. I do like Stanford over USC. I do not believe in this USC as the top 5 team. And yeah, so I think those games are going to be great. I mean, you're an Auburn alum. I mean, you gotta like the trajectory of where this program's headed this year.
Yeah, no, I do. And it seems like the market's onto it, though, Ed. So, I mean, I guess I haven't really, their game against Georgia Southern, it actually fell right on the number, depending on where you bought it. Mm-hmm. So it seems like the market has them priced right as far as Auburn really on the upswing this year. But, I mean, as far as one of the schools you went to, Stanford, do you ever factor in the extra rest? They didn't play last week coming back from Australia. Right. It's kind of a tricky handicap. How much does that factor in? But the extra rest obviously helps teams in college football. How do you work that into your numbers?
I actually hadn't thought about that until now. ESPN's done some analysis with the NFL where they have determined an extra week of rest is about a point. But Stanford definitely has that extra week because they were in Australia. Maybe a little bit less just because of the flight back to California. But yeah, certainly something to consider.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I just like the Stanford team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I like where the Stanford team is, and I was talking to Bill Connolly of SB Nation this morning, and we talked about Stanford and Auburn can really make statements this weekend. They're both teams that I feel were perhaps a little bit underrated by everyone at this point, and they can really make statements that they're top 10 teams with good games this weekend.
All right, so hopefully the Cardinal and the War Eagle bring it home for their backers. But we agree on 2, disagree on 1. So, Ed, man, I look forward to talking to you next week, a week 2 recap, and hopefully find some more games we agree on to put the numbers and maybe more of the X's and O approach together and grab some wins for the watchers. So Find Ed on Twitter at The Power Rank. I'm Drew Martin, and thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another Man vs. Machine.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.